Hello students, how are you? Welcome to Darasa Online. My name is Jonathan Mahinda. I teach geography. Today, I want you to learn on the topic of manufacturing industry, particularly on the subtopic of focus studies, cars production in Japan. Dear students, Japan is one of the smallest countries in Asia, and it is a chain of islands. It is involved in a car production and has become a leading country for car production. Of course, there are other countries which also are producing cars. These countries include Germany, include France, include UK, USA, South Africa, and South Korea, India, and China, just to mention a few. But Japan has been a leading country in production of the car. Japan produces different types of car. So the types of car: Isuzu, Toyota, Mitsubishi, just to mention the few. Dear students, this car are produced in different cities. We will see the cities. The major cities include Osaka. You can see here Osaka. Include Tokyo. Include Kobe. So these are the cities which are leading in producing cars in Japan. Of course, there are other cities, just to mention the few. Now, let's now see the factors which have led to the why Japan is becoming a leading country in production of the car. Dear student, one of the factors which have led or has influenced the production of cars in Japan is the issue of capital. Japan is a very rich country. It has money, so it has a capital which is being invested in the industries, including car production industry. This capital is used for paying the workers, buying the raw materials which are imported. So with the good money, cars are produced in Japan. Another point is on the issue of the laborers. Japan has skilled laborers in the car production. They use the computer, they use robot technology, so the production of the car is very high. And the quality of the car also is very high. We compare with the competitors of Germany, French, South Africa, and South Korea. Still, Japan is very high in the quality of the car. Yeah, Japan has a highly skilled laborers. They use a computer in assembling the cars, and the robot technology has increased the production. And they produce high quality cars. Another factor which have led to the development of car manufacturing in Japan is the issue of technology. Yeah, Japan, as I said, is well developed in terms of technologies, uses a computer in designing the type of cars, and also uses the robot in the production of the cars. So you can see that the number of the cars increases as they use the robot technology. And even the type of the car they want to design also is very, very high. So that is the leading country in production of the car. Another factor is the issues of raw material. Raw material are imported from outside the country, but because of availabilities of transport and the ports are improved, they are imported and are used for manufacturing of the car. Okay, another factor which has led Japan to become a leading country in car production is the issue of power supply. Japan has a little nuclear power, but has invested more in the hydroelectric power, and has started all the possible sites for hydroelectric power and has produced their advanced. That's why it has provided hydroelectric electricities in the manufacturing industry and the other industry. So therefore, the availability of the power supply now enables the production of the car to proceed. Therefore, more cars have been produced because of the reliable power supply. Dear students, another point which have led Japan to become a leading country in car production is the issue of market. Japan has both internal and external market. Because of the growing population of the Japanese, they have provided a market within the country, but also outside the country has market, even though that the cars are very expensive, but because of their qualities and because of the durability and the presence of the spares, still Japan has a market outside the country. Another factor which have led Japan to become a leading car production in the world is because of the transport and communication. Japan has a good road, modern railway system, the port have been developed, and on the issue of communication also it's very good because you cannot take a trouble going to Japan. You just call the agents, those that are selling the cars, it can be a second-hand car, it can be a new car, they just bring you the quotation. So Japan is very good in transport and communication. Another point is related with the transport, but is the issue of the indented cost of Japan has led to development of the harbors and the ports. You can see the coastline of Japan is indented. It has rios and fjords. So these rios have been developed into harbors. These harbors have facilitated the importation of raw material and exportation of the manufactured car. So good harbors and ports. So another factor, dear student, is the issue of government support. The development of the industries in Japan, including the car production, does not happen by chance. Japan has invested money to support the investors, to support the production of the car. So invested in terms of looking for market outside the country, and invested also by assisting those who are investing in the car. So there is the issue of government support. Dear student, another factor which have led to the growing of the car manufacturing in Japan is the issue of hard working, spiriting. The Japanese believe in working hard, working for the times, working for objectives. So this habit now has increased the production of cars in Japan. That's why it becomes a leading country in selling the cars within the country and outside the country. Dear students, these are among the factors which have assisted Japan to become a leading country in car production. But apart from these factors, also it has some challenges. So we'll see the challenges, and later we'll see the benefit from this car production in Japan. As we have learned the factors which have led Japan to become a leading country in car production, but also there are challenges which is facing. Some of the challenges I have listed here. One is the issue of infrastructure destruction. Japan faces a number of occurrences of earthquake, of which this is destructed infrastructure, including the roads, including the railway system, even the harbors. So it becomes now difficult to import smoothly or to export smoothly. This also is a challenge for Japanese who are producing the cars. Yes, apart from that challenges, also the challenge of competition. Japanese car producers faces stiff competition with the other car producers. If I have mentioned in the first, that France is one, USA, South Africa and South Korea, China and India, so are all the car producers. So it faces a stiff competition with the other car producers. There's really another challenge which Japan faces in car production is the issue of air pollution. There is a strong campaign against air pollution. So this has lowered the productions of the car. They are still thinking of reducing the pollution, the industries which are producing gases into the air, particularly carbon dioxide. Another challenges which Japan faces in the car production industry is the issue of limited marketing. There is a limited market for the cars from Japan because of their high price. Even though that they have very good quality, but the price is very high. Particularly on the developing countries, they cannot afford to buy the cars. Therefore, the market now is limited to the developing countries. Another challenges which Japanese faces through the production of the cars is the issue of financial difficulty in the world. That is where the world now faces the financial difficulties, even the price also decreases. Even the exportation of the cars also increases. So that is another challenge. Dear students, these are the challenges which Japanese are facing through the process of car production. Now, apart from the factor which we have learned and the challenges which they are facing, now let us see what are they enjoying from car manufacturing industry. After we have learned the factor which have led to production of car in Japan, so as Japan now becomes a car leading producers in the world, but also we have seen the challenges they facing. But let us see what do they enjoy from car production in Japan. One of the merits is the source of employment. The manufacturing industries, the car manufacturing industry has provided employment to the people of Japan. The skilled laborers work in the industry to assist the machine to function. As I said, the introduction of the computer for designing the cars, for assembling the cars, has assisted the production of the car to be very high. Now you will see. This one here is a computer, another one there is a computer. So the computer here is used to assist the skilled laborer here to assemble the car. When the spare parts are assembled in the wrong way, the computer here can detect it and make a correction. So Japanese, they're employed in the car production. Yeah, they use computer and assembly spares. So this is one of the benefits that they enjoy. Another merit that I enjoy the Japanese is that with the introduction of the car productions now has added the sector for the economy. And instead of depending on they are also very good in fishing, but also in textile industry, but now they have added car industry. So they have added the sector of the economy in the country. The country now, instead of depending on textile and fishing sectors as one of the economies, one of the sector of economy in the country, now they have added car production. Another benefit they enjoy, the Japanese from car production, is the issue of improvement of the social services, improvement of the schools, improvement of the health services, improving the roads that you have seen. Another advantage they are getting through car manufacturing is the issue of foreign currency. Remember I said, we have learned that Japanese car producers, they have market within the country and outside the country. So when they are selling cars outside the country, they are getting foreign currency, of which they are used for improving other sectors, as I have said, improving roads, improving even industries, textile industries, and the fishing. So, dear students, now you can see how the Japanese are enjoying from car production. We have seen the factor which have read development and becoming a leading country in car production. And we have also seen the challenges, we have seen how they benefit from it. Now, let us see now the questions of which you related to the topic we have read, and see if you can answer them. Look here, dear student. The first question states that in 8 points, explain why Japan became a world-leading car producer. So in answering the question here, what is the key concept here? Car production or car manufacturing. So I have to say, car manufacturing involves the sparing or assembling of the spares to the cars, selling the cars, and all of this. Now let us try to answer it together. As I was saying, the way of answering it, you have to identify. The key concept here is on the car producer or car manufacturing. So either you define or you give the meaning of car manufacturing. As I was saying, it involves assembling the spares to make the car, design the car, and everything. This involves designing the cars, assembling, the spare parts, and selling the car. So briefly, you can give it that way. Now we come to the point now here. 8 points. We have learned them. So 8 points. 8 points here. 8 points here. I will just give you the hints. I have certainly given you what we are supposed to do. You have to identify the key concepts. Now the demand of the question, the 8 points. We have learned them. So one I was saying, the point which have influenced Japanese to become first car producers is the issue of capital. So here, say capital. So in capital here, do not end in there. You have to give capital for what? And number 2 here, you say labor. We said they are more skilled laborers here. We have said they are more skilled here, more skilled labor here. Another thing we went on to say technology. Technology. That Japan is well advanced in terms of technology, uses the roboting, sparing, producing the cars. So you can say in that way. And we went on to say the issue of power supply. Power supply. We said Japanese has exploited all the possible sites for hydroelectrical power, and using hydroelectrical power in car production now become reliable for production. That is the point. And another, we said the habit of hard working. Hard working spirit. We believe on that. Another, we said on the government support. Government support. Supported the car manufacturing. Government support here. So involved in that. Okay. Another, we said issue of the market, internal and the external market. Said both internal and external. So these are the points which facilitated Japan to become a car-reading country instead. Another thing we said, the issue of number 8 here. The issue of transport, we say the transport is well developed, the railways are modern one, the roads have been constructed, very good, the harbors have been developed. The issue of transport and communication. Transport and communication. So we have 8 points already here, but we can go on and say that the conclusion in here, you can say, apart from the factor which have raised for development of the car manufacturing in Japan, but to talk of the challenges. So that will be your conclusion here. Talk of the challenges with the first conclusion here. Talk of the challenges which are facing. You can mention 1 or 2 or 3. That's enough. Okay. Yes, so now let's go to question number 2. Question number 2 states that describe 5 obstacles that Japan encountered in her car production. Okay. Just in answer to this question, I'm saying again, you have to look for the key concept. So as you give the meaning, what is it? And then you go to the demand of the question. The key concept in here is the car production. Car production. So give the meaning here. Meaning. Said it involves even the selling, assembly of the car, and other issues which are involved. Production of the spares, selling of the spares, are all car production. Now the demand here is on the obstacles. 5 obstacles. Yes, and here I've learned about the stiff competition from other car producers, stiff competition. I've learned it, so you can give more elaboration in there. Again, we have said there is a financial difficulty in the world. Difficulties in the world also lead to the raw production. Another, we said there is the issue of infrastructure destruction. Destruction. This occurs when there is occurrence of earthquake, so the roads they go on. Another, we said there is a limited market for the developing countries. Yes, we said that the cars are very good, with very, very high quality, but the price lowers those people. Yeah. And we said, number 5, the issue of air pollution. Yeah, you can talk like that. But below here you can conclude, but apart from this conclusion here, you talk of the merit, what are they enjoy? Merit. Talk of the merit of the car production in Japan. So, dear students, you have answered the question. What we are learning is the issue of car production in Japan. You have seen the factor which have led to car production in Japan and become a world leader on the car production. And also we have learned the difficulties, the challenges, the faces, but also we have learned what they enjoy. Now, let me end in there. So next time we meet, we'll learn more. Thank you for listening.